don't mean to be too unkind. If I see you looking up to me, pull up a chair, have a cup of tea. Maybe I could just change your mind. What do I know? You crack me up when you play the class clown with the big mouth. You say I don't want to, could've really had to. Ask me where I've been, busy keeping my nose clean. I don't want to, could've really had to. Make a fuss and drag my feet, do it just to keep you sweet. Taking a ride to the world outside. Nobody said you get your head fried. Do something to make your dad proud. You come home and no one wants to play when you've been at work all day. You Mr. Hyper all the way. What do I know? Everyone loved me when I was class clown with the big mouth. I'd say I don't want to, could've really had to. Ask me where I've been, busy keeping my nose clean. I don't want to, could've really had to. Make a fuss and drag my feet, do it just to keep you sweet. It really don't matter, 'cause you're always something special in your mother's eyes. It really don't matter, 'cause you know that she's been hypnotized. A man-child. What do they know? Does nobody want to employ the class clown with the big mouth? 'Cause he says I don't want to, could've really had to. Ask me where I've been, busy keeping my nose clean. Could've really had to. Make a fuss and drag my feet, do it just to keep you sweet. Do it just to keep you sweet. Now, a message to all you rascals at the back there all trying to be cool and standing at the back. There's free bales here. I know some of you might be a little bit worse for wear for the drink and you might need something with a back on it. But look, we don't bite here. We don't bite. If you come down and get involved, come on, it's good for me. The better it is for me, hopefully the better it is for you. In the last 20... Yeah, go on. It's like a sponsored walk. Come on. Get involved, get involved. No, so, mate, there's one here with a back on it. Yeah, so this is an evening of songs and a few stories. In the last couple of years when I've been doing this, I've been... I have been where you're sitting with Twat with acoustic guitar standing in front of you, and it's like quite like some of his tunes, but I don't know what the hell he was going on about. So I started to tell people what the stories were about, the stories and the influence behind the songs. Some happy, some not so happy, which you will find out. But it's a nice journey, and we'll all be laughing at the end because we'll all be drunk. When in the last 20 years, well, since that pop group that I was in finished and I ended up potless and on the dole, I had to go and get my toolbox out and become an apprentice electrician. I was the worst apprentice, well, not an apprentice electrician, being an electrician, the worst businessman in the world, doing jobs for our women because they got no money. But there was one of these ladies who, her and her husband, both in their 70s, Barry and Caroline. Barry was a lovely, lovely old boy. My first introduction into who Barry was when I climbed into his loft to try and sort out a lighting problem that I had, and I put my head up to the loft hatch, and he's got, like, you imagine the loft's kind of like about the size of this, a big posh house in Hampstead Garden suburb in London. People who know London will know Hampstead Garden suburb. And Barry had the world's best train set in his loft. Like, well, no, they don't call them trains, they call them model railways, don't they? They call them a train set, it makes them sound like divvies. But, so I see this, I'm going, he's right, man, I want to hang with Barry, man, look at this. It's like Crew. But unfortunately, Barry has a stroke. So come round to, next time I go round to his house, she used to have me round changing light bulbs and stuff like that, Caroline. And Caroline's in the 70s, and then suddenly she's just been put in charge of Barry. And Barry's like recovering from a stroke, and this is, I'm not going to get too political too early, but this is like kind of this is what we've all got to look forward to. People of my age, unless you're a millionaire, you're going to be sitting in your own house stinking of piss. Sorry, but that's the future for you. So she's looking after Barry, and she's a full-time carer, and Barry is not the Barry that was the first Barry that I met. Barry ain't going on his train sets or his model railways anymore. And eventually Barry dies, and for Barry, sad. Even though he was a Manchester United fan, he was a good guy. And Caroline's left to look after him, and this is the woman she's loved all her life, and suddenly this has been taken away from her. And people in those kind of circumstances reach into desperate, they become desperate and become lonely, and unfortunately she seeks solace in the bottom of a whiskey bottle. And this is my song for her. She'll never ever know, unless any of you know it. But she's a lovely old woman, and this is a song called Hole, with a H. No, that's not, it's with a W. There's no more trains rolling round my attic. The station is closed. Everybody's gone home. All my rolling stock is static. The signals have failed. My ship has sailed. No more Victoria sponge on a Sunday. No more ice creams on the beach on away days. I pull the cork and sit here and talk to myself. All I had just died right in front of me, leaving a hole in my heart that could never be filled till I see you again and two hearts become whole. hope in your eyes and your head is still banging. You need to be fed, get your ass out of bed. There's bills that need paying and clothes that need hanging. You're right to be scared if you're taking the stairs. No more red devils and scarves on a Sunday. No more big bunches of flowers every payday. I pull the cork and sit here and talk to myself. So all I had just died right in front of me, leaving a hole in my heart that could never be filled till I see you again and two hearts become. Oh, 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 oh. I don't want to be here when the rest of my life seems so unclear. How I wish you were here with your hand in mine. I feel no fear when you're here, but you're not. I am. So let's crack another bottle. Another bottle. Hey, let's crack another bottle. Another bottle. 'Cause all I had just died right in front of me, leaving a hole in my heart that could never be filled till I see you again and two hearts become. Oh, 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 oh. All I had just died right in front of me, leaving a hole in my heart that could never be filled till I see you again and two hearts become. Oh, 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 it's always annoying that you, when I start playing, my nose always gets itchy and I haven't even taken any drugs. It's absolutely shocking. I'm from Liverpool anyway, in case you couldn't tell. And there's been lots of musicians come from my hometown, many of which have written songs about Liverpool. They go back to Ferry, let me turn that reverb off. All right, now I'm back in the room. You're back in the room. I'll tell you a story about Jerry Marsden. I think we're amongst friends here. For a start, he's on the Cherry Blossom. You know, that the same one as Mac. Well, he's on the same one as Mac, but Mac is on the Raven's Wing, and I think Jerry's on the Cherry Dock Mountain. And when we released, we did a cover version back in the day with the band of Ferry Cross the Mersey on the B-side of the 12-inch of Relax. They had an interview with Jerry in the paper, and he's going, oh, he's up and all that, because I'll tell you now, in a stone fact, he made more money out of that 12-inch than we did. And Jerry, he said, oh, it's great, yeah, you know, it's lovely, the lads like having a nod to the heritage. I'll have to take them all out for a meal next time they're all in town. I'm still waiting. Still waiting, Jerry. But he's all right. Yeah, we have. Does anybody here who's fans of my friend Ian Prowse in Amsterdam? Do you know about Ian Prowse in Amsterdam? No. Well, Ian Prowse wrote a song called "Does This Train Stop on Merseyside," which is kind of like become a bit of a Liverpool anthem. And he's my buddy, and I'd say that even if he wasn't. So I had this. I'm from Liverpool. Well, left there 30 years ago, but I haven't got a song about Liverpool. Because, like, what do? You know, kind of think it's been done. So one day I'm watching time team, the lost dock of Liverpool. When they built Liverpool 1, they uncovered the remnants of the first dock, which was constructed with the aid of £6,000. That I can't remember the guy's name. Someone who had £6,000 back then. He was like he'd have been wadded. He'd been like Richard Branson. He mortgaged the city to build this dock, and from this £6,000 grew the core of the empire at that time. You know, cotton, sugar, slaves. Yeah, we've got to put our hands up to that. You know, the Mersey estuary was deep, and it could take the biggest slave ships, and that's why we have that prosperity. But the tobacco, the cotton, the sugar, all good. And one of the things in this documentary was saying about, maybe goes to some way to explaining why Scousers are we, all right lads, all right, and I've been talking to people here and going, all right, sound, yeah, was that being a port, and as Swansea is a port, and Bristol and many of the other ports that are close to here, back in the day when traders came, everybody who you meet is a new business opportunity and somebody to trade with, and be going like, what? You come from China, lads? What? You got some? Oh, mate, you have a bit of silk? Do you want some skunk? No. Had a bit of tea. Got some this rally fellas brought back potatoes, man. You gotta get on these. Fucking nah, leave the noodles, man. Fry this gear. And I thought that we're coming from the sea, the reason that we're not like other people, and I don't say this exclusively, I'm sure that the people who live in Larne believe that their sisters and brothers are not like the others, and that's what I think about Liverpool, because we're like, we're not impressed, you know what I mean, because we've grown up with this heritage. It's like, so like, I remember meeting the lads from Liverpool, he's going, oh, so you're in Frankie, yeah, so the power of love and all that, yeah, so so that's kind of, so how do we exemplify this bitterness and unimpressedness? I don't know if that's a word. Stephen Fry would be shoot me in the back of the head for that now. I come up with this title of Salt in Our Veins because we are a little bit bitter and we're a bit insular, but we're welcoming too. You know, if you come to our city, and the people in this room have been to our city, unless you've been like, went to Swansea away in the 80s and got battered in Sefton Park or in Stanley Park. But we're a welcoming people because we've welcomed people from all over the world for many years. So I had a title. So I'm stumbling along in the studio one day, and the first line that comes out is, my sisters and brothers, we're not like the others. And I decided to write this potted history of Liverpool because it's a very much changed place to how it was. And if you haven't been there since 2008, since it was European capital of culture, stroke European capital of vultures, depending on who you speak to. But for me, a massive improvement, and go, you'll buzz on it. If you know, I know it's quite a long way. It's a bit of a mission for me, and it's like going to Kathmandu or something. You know? Everywhere's a mission from here, isn't it? But go, you'll be made to feel very welcome, and go midweek. You'll get a cheap travel lodge midweek. Don't go at the weekends when it's all stag and hen zoos. It's carnage. Matthew Street's like Beirut with people in with Pussy Patrol t-shirts on. But go. Liverpool's brilliant, and you'll have a great time. And say midweek, poker. You'll get a seat in an ale house. It'll be chilled. You'll meet the locals who live in those pubs, and you'll be made to feel very welcome. So anyway, shut up.
Sounds like Tenby.
Say again.
It sounds like Tenby.
Tenby.
Tenby. It sounds like Tenby. If you're in the midweek, it's fine.
Tenby.
Yeah, it's
That's in Wales, isn't it?
Whereabouts in Wales is Tenby?
miles and miles and miles away.
Which are we going, east or west?
West. How many miles is it?
Oh, 20.
Not even that.
I always wanted to go to Haverfordwest because I knew two musicians who were from there.
That's what they have the world.
Is that like, is Haverfordwest just rubbish?
You'll fall off.
Yes. There's nothing wrong with Sochi, mate. I drive people through Toxteth and I'm going, what, this is Toxteth? They're expecting to see like savages on the corner. This is interesting fact about Toxteth and Prince's Park and all that, and we didn't like
how did these magnificent examples of Georgian architecture fall into the hands of immigrants, blacks, Irish, some dogs? That was the only place they would take blacks, Irish and dogs was in Toxteth, because this whole very incredibly affluent area of Liverpool collapsed because they built Port Sunlight on the other side of the river. And indirectly, the Welsh are to blame. Because the wind from Wales blew all the shit from Port Sunlight. So all these toffs were going like, oh, if you check my house out, every time I walk out my door, I can't breathe. So they all moved to the Wirral and got on the other side of the wind. And that's what led to the collapse of Toxteth. And if you drove through Toxteth, it's like Islington, apart from the little bits of council estates that are stuck around the back of it. But it's very grand, and the people are doing up the houses there now. Or people won't be dishing L8 very long, I'm telling you now. Anyway, salt in our veins.
I love this town. Let me show you round. We'll meet some old faces. I'll show you the places I've been, where we all had dreams of better days like these. Our sisters and brothers were not like the others. We conquered the oceans. We were pulled from the river by cranes, from the core of the empire. Gave us salt in our veins. Well, there's red and blue, but there were not two. The green bus southbound will take you to Strawberry Field, when nothing is real, and better days like these. My sisters and brothers were not like the others. You can shake our foundations. You can say that our future's been sold. You can run for the big smoke, but you still be part of the fold. Did you show some emotion when the city cried out in pain? And you'll always be welcome, but you'll never have salt in your veins. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Could it be that I see just what I want to see? Do you believe me? So let's walk down the cobbled streets, feel the Mersey beat. Sisters and brothers were not like the others. From the ashes of Blitzkrieg, we were teaching the world how to sing, and we went down swinging. And we're back and we're kings of the ring, built on blood from the black gold, from Hope Street to Penny Lane. But we're one in a million, 'cause we got salt in our veins. We got salt in our veins. We got salt in our veins. We got salt in our veins.
Plenty of space down the front. Come on, get involved. Don't make me come and get you. Okay. I'm going to preface this with the kids. The kids, man. I've always had a lot of love in my heart for the kids. Not in a fucking Jimmy Savile or Gary Glitter way, by the way. Love the kids. Because I have kids myself and I meet their friends and realise they're not the hooded, knife-carrying hooligans that the Daily Heil would have you believe. The kids, it just fills me with so much pride to see these kids sitting there listening to Corbyn. Now, let's get this right, the kids. Have you ever met a kid who will sit and listen to anything for 5 minutes? I was at an 18th birthday party and the kids were in charge of Spotify. It was brilliant. I got 20-second samples of like the best hits. They're like, no, play this. They're all off their heads on nitrous oxide, but you know what I mean? But they were partying, that's allowed. When they can be serious, they can go and rally and get behind someone who's like their granddad. And the kids see the truth. Like, we can be all come a bit cynical, but the kids can see the truth and see this guy who for me is the last good horse in the stable, and they see him being bullied, and they wouldn't want to see their granddad treated like that by the mainstream Nazis in the media who tried to pull this guy down for 30 years. 30 years as a politician, and the only thing they've got on him is he slept with Diane Abbott. Now, I wouldn't sleep with Diane Abbott, but the kids are going, it's right, Jezza, multicultural, get on it. Yeah, it's right, man, yeah, Jezza's on it. And I think... the state that this government, with the Brexit vote, which was basically, have some chocolate, come on, vote for us and I'll give you a referendum about whether you want to be in Europe or not. Let's forget the fact that I think probably most of the people in this room, myself included, were never educated or informed enough to make such a massive decision, you know. And if you are, pucker, and you know what, if you were, come and tell me, because I want to know, and I did my research, and it's too big, it's such a big thing. But the kids are going to bring the revolution. They're motivated, and it's taking people like Stormzy, you know, urban music, and this is what we got to do. We got to get the kids on the music and bring them together so they feel some collectivity between all of them, and they don't feel like they're barking in this echo chamber of Facebook with their mates. They've got to meet the people from Newcastle and people from Bristol and people from Norwich who feel like the same as them, because it's their future. That's what they've got to fight for. I've got 2 kids living at home, one lives in Liverpool. I'm going back to Liverpool in a couple of years because my children will never be able to afford to live where I live now. Starting prices for 1-bedroom flats start at 380 grand. I've just seen an ex-council block. There was an article in The Guardian about it. They're putting a planning application in for 257 apartments that are 25% smaller than an average travel lodge room. They should put the plan in The Guardian. They put a cat on the bed, but like, I don't know whether that was for scale or something, like, whether like, well, that don't help me, is that a big cat? Is it a big cat or a small bed? I don't know. But the starting prices were £180,000 to live in to buy a travel lodge room on the 10th floor. That's great views then, great views. 5 minutes on the Northern Line from civilization. Yeah, you can knock a 7-9 onto the train platform. So one morning I'm walking across Waterloo Bridge. No doubt some of you may have walked along that same bridge, and to one side you have the Houses of Parliament in the London Eye, depending whether you go north or south, and the other side we have the city. I'm walking across with my mate and he said, look at it, the cranes of greed, which was all to the city. And I'm in tears here. And we were going to see a friend of ours who's a pensioner called Seamus Dark, and he lives in a place called Hopton Villas, which were almshouses built in Georgian times. And on the wall, you might have them in buildings here, they have a sign that says ancient lights. And the ancient lights is the sunshine. You can't block out the ancient lights. Well, so much for the ancient lights where Seamus lives, because they built 3 skyscrapers around them and completely fenced them in. And the most nondescript, dog shit architecture, you know, just horrible. And the strangest thing is, I've left Seamus's house at all times of the night. Sometimes it's 7 o'clock on a winter's evening to 2 o'clock on a summer's evening. And I come out and I turn around and look at these 3 buildings that are around them, and there's no lights on. So no one's living there. These are just investments for Chinese billionaires and oligarchs. Because, like, who's that for tenant? You know, if you're a millionaire, you don't want some gobshite drinking from London going, "Hey lads, me fan's not working in my bathroom. I told me some paying £1 a week. Get round here and get mould on my head." So it prompted me to write this song called "Where Will the Kids Live?" And I wrote this song before we seen this motivation, and on the recorded version of the album, I've dropped in Diamond Dave at the end talking about affordable housing, which apparently is about £380,000. So you're getting that, aren't you? You're getting a mortgage for that flipping burgers in McDonald's or making coffee in Starbucks on your 0 hours contract. Anyway, this is the Where Will the Kids Live? Gotta get me right preset, haven't I? I've got a magic box down here. You can hear it. Choo choo choo. It gives me harmonies. Here we are. Where will the kids live? Take 2. I cannot see beyond the greens of greed. Mr. Dark has been boxed in. He needs the ancient lights to grow his seed. Not landlords from Moscow and Beijing. Everyone's taking and not giving back. Would you ever know when enough is enough? Is enough? Do you remember sweet, sweet? The man lifted off his roof with a cherry picker. Get him out. This is the Ministry of Defense, is not yours. Pack your bag, leave the shirt on your back. Get him out. Get him out. Where will the kids live? Bust out to Watford in droves, 'cause it's cheap. Would you ever know when enough is enough? Is enough? You'll never know when enough's enough. Is enough? Where will the kids live? They've been fucked over and stabbed in the back. Uh, I had a friend of mine, who'd been a friend for a long time, who killed himself. Not pleasant, horrible for his family, horrible for all of his mates. I don't know if there's anyone in this room who's had someone die from suicide, but it leaves us, one, robbed, two, helpless because we didn't see it, and three, thinking what we could have done to have made things change, that they would still be here. And the truth is that we can't do anything. I believe, I don't know what you believe, when people take their own lives, it's they're not the person we know. They're in such a desperate state, mentally, sometimes physically, that they just want to step off. Thinking, oh, he's a fucking cheery bastard, this songs about his dead mate. No, but it's a shame he's not here, because he would have been a fantastic grumpy old man. He'd worked all his life, he was kind of retired, had his house paid for, used to get up in the morning, make egg on toast, and then roll the biggest Caribbean trumpet you've ever seen and just get down, play golf, watch Arsenal, and moan. But it's just like, if you're retired, you've earned that right, haven't you? It's all about the Arsenal, you can leave the Arsenal. And he left us too soon, and yeah, he would have been a grumpy old man. But the weirdest thing about this guy, I'd known him 15 years. I used to go round to his house quite a bit when I was working in the area or just passing. And he's someone I met after I'd been in Frankie, and on the day of his funeral, or the day before his funeral, his brother-in-law rang me and sent me a text message saying, "Can you bring a copy of Two Tribes to the funeral?" And I'm thinking, like, what the fuck's that or what? What is it? Well, it was a bit of an inappropriate time to ask me about this. And I was just like, okay, yeah, mate, yeah, nice, yeah, sound, I'll bring it. And it's only when I turned up that I realised he came into the crematorium to Us and Them by Pink Floyd, good choice, and he went out to Two Tribes by Frankie. And in all this time that I'd known him, I never knew that it was his favourite song, which was, and then when one of the guys spoke afterwards about him, he said that we'd actually done scientific calculations of how many pints of IPA it took before Kev got on the dance floor to Two Tribes and Trust. So I'd never been at a place where he'd played Two Tribes, so I'd never seen this. But kind of weird that this guy who I was close to and being my buddy all the time, I reckon he must have had a bit of scouse in him, because he wasn't impressed either, because he never mentioned it to me at the time. But I always say to people when I play this tune, maybe we've all lost people who step off too soon. Old age, great, you know. I'll take 82 now. 82, I'm still laughing and not sitting in my own shite. All good. After that, and then after that, I'm going to Dignitas. My mate, I was saying to my mate, do you fancy a bit of Dignitas if you get too old and a bit infirm? He said, I'm not going there. I said, why not? He said, you know what you get for breakfast? Cheerios. This is called Don't Go Yet. Maybe think about someone who you would like to be sitting with now, watching this, listening to Gobby Scouse Git.
What you sow, no sorrow. Will we ever get to know? I don't think so. Never got to see you go the last time. To the ones we loved and lost. things you left behind. Where did you go? I bet it never crossed your mind. I wouldn't think so. Singing over your head. You think that's gonna help you and stay in bed. But just don't go yet. But just don't go yet. 'Cause we got some important shit to talk, and you never got to tell me just how much you like that song I used to play. Mr. Kevin White, I hope the beers are cold wherever you are, brother. Okay, I'm going to play one more and then we can have a break because I'm the turn and I've got to come back on, I'm getting in that Kazi first. Or either that, I'm going to be running up the road looking for a field. Remember doing that once in Ireland, jumping out of a van in the middle of nowhere, and there was a woman coming out of church and she told us off. And me and my mate got back in the van like Irish mammy going, "What are you doing there? What are you pissing outside the cemetery?" We got bollocks, yeah. I mean, the pair of us were shamed. We're like, over. Good job it wasn't midstream. I mean, it's proper embarrassing. Okay, next song. There's a technical term for, well, I guess it's a technical term. I call it having a whitey. I'm sure there's a few people who've had a couple of whiteys over the weekend here. I've heard there's been some late nights. Who's here for the third night on the spin? Yeah! Fucking hell, it is hardcore, isn't it? No arsing about here. We's on it, didn't we? We's on it. Where's your liver too? That's what they're saying. Yeah. On holiday. So a few years ago I went to this business meeting. It was with a publishing company. Me and my mate signed a publishing deal with a guy called Brian Morrison. He was Morrison Leahy, very famous, like Tin Pan Alley job. Earned his money by buying a copyright to the Chinese Olympics, the Chinese national anthem, like in the 60s when he won loads of Chinese medals and he earned loads of money for the PRS. He's dead now. He fell off a polo horse. No, seriously. As my friend said, if he'd landed on his wallet, he'd have been alright.
How's the
And
horse?
so we're with his junior who signed our publishing, and we go out for a liquid lunch. About 6, at least 5, maybe 6, and we go back to the office, and this guy's like, yeah, listen to this band. I'm thinking of signing these. What you thinking? There's a band called Lime, and while we're listening, he starts rolling up this Jimmy Cliff. Never banged on that. Not a good idea. A smoke and a drink makes you think. A drink and a smoke makes you both. So me and my mates are sitting there, and it's like this was like before ridiculous skunk was everywhere, and stay clear of that, it'll melt your head. So I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, I'm feeling a bit fucking off here. You know, like trying to get on it and try and stay straight, and I'm looking at him and he's like that. So I have to bail. I have to lose face and go and sit on the steps of number 1 Star Street. If you have, it's just off Edgware Road. Mr. Morrison waited 20 years to get the address. Number 1 Star Street. And so this is a song about the having a bad wifey in a business meeting. Not a good call. And the end is going to go a bit weird and a bit psycho, so Mr. Soundman, you can start panning some shit around here. Let's go like full Pink Floyd at the UFO.
He's eating a pizza.
Is it?
Yeah. May
You
not
got the
happen.
night off here, haven't you, mate? It's posh. Thank you. That's good. No, that's good, man. That's good. Yeah, so this is called Listen to Lime, and it goes a little bit psychedelic at the end, so don't be afraid. So I'll play this, and then you can all go and get another drink and all that, and as I call it, go and shake hands with the unemployed, which is, I can feel it, my back teeth are going to be floating halfway through this. So, listen to Lime. Arab chords, dead weird and all that.
But it don't matter. I don't think you've ever seen